There are numerous methods to be successful in poker. For some, regularly beating the game requires a lot of effort and time. Others have a natural skill that allows them to breeze through the obstacles and reach the top with ease. Tom Dwan is undoubtedly in the latter category. Tom Dwan, with his boyish appearance and somewhat awkward behavior, swept the high-stakes poker scene. Dwan made a lasting impression on both his opponents and poker enthusiasts by repeatedly pulling enormous bluffs and making outrageous hero calls. Is the man who decided to name himself Durr online simply to annoy his opponents the greatest Texas Hold'em player to ever exist? Probably not, but he's certainly one of the most impressive. Tom Dwan was born in 1986 in New Jersey into a middle-class family that taught him the value of hard work. As a result, he was an extremely busy student in high school, participating in a variety of activities including sports and the school debate club. However, in addition to academics, young Dwan had an early interest in card games. He and his friends played Magic the Gathering, a popular game that many other top-level poker pros used to play when they were younger. Tom's poker career began when he was 17 years old. He received $50 as a birthday present and, convinced by his buddies, chose to deposit it at Paradise Poker, one of the first online poker rooms. At this point, he adopted the now legendary alias Durr. Dwan adopted this nickname since it was a phrase he and his friends frequently used to describe dumb behavior or statements. So he thought it was funny and would likely irritate some of his online opponents. The Tom Dwan poker story is somewhat unique. Most people, including the top poker players, had to lose money before they could improve. Not Durr, though. He took the $50 deposit and ran, never looking back. Tom began playing low-stakes sit-and-go with moderate success. Later, he began to mix in some low-stakes cash games. This is where his natural capacity would be most useful. Keep in mind that this was in 2003 and 2004, when online poker was in its infancy. Most players had no idea what they were doing. So, natural talent combined with a basic understanding of the game can go a long way. There's no doubting that Dwan's early poker career was aided by good fortune. He avoided large downswings right away and got his bankroll off to a good start. By the time he turned 18, he had $15,000 in his Paradise Poker account. In the following months, Tom continued to win, accumulating enough money to pay for college. So he registered at Boston University, following the normal path for an 18-year-old. But everyday life wasn't Tom's thing. Throughout his first year, he continued to play games both online and at home. By the end, Dwan had made his decision. He told his parents that he wouldn't be returning to university and would instead pursue a career as a professional poker player. It goes without saying that the choice shocked his family. Poker wasn't as popular or widely acknowledged back then, and most people still don't consider it a viable profession today. Still, Tom had his mind set, and it turned out that he made the right choice for himself. Dwan, who is from the United States, struggled on the live circuit in his early years as a professional player. Instead, he concentrated on the online arena, where he maintained his remarkable streak that began with merely $50. He began playing at PokerStars and Full Tilt Poker using the same Durr alias, steadily increasing his bets. He, like everyone else, experienced losses along the way, but his bankroll was improving. Dwan eventually changed his attention to heads-up games, where he established himself as one of the most dangerous high-stakes HU players. Tom's poker statistics in the live arena don't appear to be very great, but that's just because he was always focused on cash games, be it in the live or online setting. Dwan's two largest live tournament victories were very recently, in 2019, as a result of outstanding performances in Triton Poker Series high roller events. These two payouts account for more than $1.4 million of his total $4.8 million in live tournament earnings. In 2010, Durr came close to winning a World Series of Poker bracelet. He went up against Simon Watt in a $1,500 NLHE event, but couldn't quite seal the deal. He still received almost $381,000 for his efforts. Dwan's live performance was modest for a player of his caliber, but his online presence was anything but. Full Tilt Poker recruited Tom on board, and he rapidly became one of the brand's most recognizable faces. His fame was boosted by appearances on television series such as High Stakes Poker and Poker After Dark. He had a highly distinct and aggressive style of play that was ideal for television. Despite his youthful age, or because of it, he wasn't scared to play big pots and compete with the greatest. Over the years, he's played some great pots with Phil Ivey, Daniel Negreanu, Doyle Brunson, and many more. However, in online poker, Durr reigned supreme for a while. So much so that in 2009 he made the famed Durr Challenge to the entire poker community, with the exception of Phil Galfin. He would play 50,000 hands of Hold'em or Pot Limit Omaha for the $200, $400 at 3-to-1 odds. In fact, this meant that the challenger would have to put up $500,000 to match Dwan $1,500,000. If the challenger wins as little as $1 after all 50,000 hands are played, they will earn $1.5 million. If Tom wins, he will receive only $500,000. These were really outrageous odds, but Dwan felt confident in his abilities. And while Durr was a formidable opponent, the professionals couldn't pass up these odds. Patrick Antonius was the first to accept Tom's offer. The pair began their game in February 2009, but the Finn had a significant downturn. Antonius decided to call it a day with roughly 10,000 hands remaining and a total of $2 million down. Patrick pulled out of the match, giving Dwan an undisclosed sum of money. The next in line was Dan Jungleman 12 Cates, and this task would be considerably more exciting for viewers, particularly those who enjoy drama. Cates and Dwan started playing Full Tilt Poker in August 2010. In April 2011, Black Friday occurred, effectively ending online poker in the United States. At the time, Jungleman was ahead by more than 1 million, despite only playing about 10,000 poker hands. So things weren't going well for Durr. Some think that Black Friday arrived just in time to prevent Dwan from a significant loss. Over the next decade, the Durr Challenge vs. Jungle nearly became a joke on poker forums and in the poker community at large. There had been countless attempts and assurances that the challenge would resume, and Cates was eager to see this happen. Dwan, on the other hand, not so much. In the years that followed, he had almost totally abandoned online poker, so he knew he wouldn't fare well against one of the finest heads-up players around. The Dan Cates Tom Dwan Poker Challenge is still officially ongoing, and it may resume at some point, although after over 10 years, it's doubtful. Cates has often said that there is no bad blood between him and Tom, thus it appears that both players have moved on. However, there is still some hope. Tom Dwan is hardly the most well-known individual. Following the Full Tilt fiasco, he largely retreated from the public eye, seeking new possibilities and rebuilding his career. Durr has recently become more active on Twitter, providing glimpses of his poker and other endeavors. He's been quite active in the Triton Poker Series project and has spent a lot of time in Asia, winning money and studying Chinese. The latter, on the other hand, hasn't been going so well, since he's only managed to learn numbers and curse words. Dwan also made a brief appearance on the new season of High Stakes Poker, which was a fun trip down memory lane for more experienced poker players. It was an appropriate memorial to the old days of poker. It's unclear what happens next for Durr. He's demonstrated that he's the type of person who can land on his feet even in the most terrible of circumstances. He's also active in various business ventures outside of poker, so things appear to be going well for Dwan. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so we can bring you more startling poker news and even more startling stories about poker players.